Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Call Halayim Yahawah, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Harachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Shalom. I just want to get into this lesson entitled, It's Going to Come Down to Faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. It's going to come down to faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. Because as this world, this current society we live in is coming to a conclusion, at the end, when it's all said and done, good is set against evil. All right, life is set against death, but it's going to come down to if you have faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, or if you have faith in this current system, this current agenda. All right. This is Sirach chapter 33, verse 14. Salakia. I'm going to read up. I'm going to start at verse 10. Sirach 33 and 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. Genesis 2 and 7. All right. Adama going into ground. Okay. And we know that Adam was Yahawashi. So verse 11 says, and much knowledge the Lord had divided them and made their ways diverse. And it tells you that in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, that all men come from Adam. All right. Particularly the nation that the Lord has chose, the nation of Israel. And all these other nations that you see on the planet Earth, starting with Esau, Edom, on down, they're likened unto spittle. But nevertheless, verse 12, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself, the nation of Israel. All right. We've been blessed and exalted. The remnant, particularly, of the nation of Israel, the elect. Okay. The hopeful elect. It says, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. 2/3 of our people on this side, as well as these other heathen nations. Okay. It says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as like it him best. Okay, and the potter is Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. He fashions us at his pleasure to do his will, whether that be good or evil. And so it is in this day. Some of us are fashioned to do evil. Some of us are fashioned to do good. Some of us are fashioned with that faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. Some of us are fashioned with that disinterest in this word and this truth. It said, good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. And so it is at these times. Good is set against evil. You have the good, the remnant of Israel, the elect. We are set against the system. The system promotes evil. All right. A one world currency. All right. The charagma. That's evil. That's blasphemy. That will get you a first-class ticket into the lake of fire. So it's going to come down to your faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi and your trust in him. And ultimately, the same thing goes for sinners and those that don't believe. They're going to be decided upon their faith in this system. That ultimately is going to get them destroyed. So it says, so is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. And it's always been like this since the beginning. Okay, so let's go back to Ephesians, the 6th chapter, because as the title of this lesson is, it's going to come down to faith in Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. So this is Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And when we read down, it's going to go into the details of that armor. All right, but it says, put on the whole armor. So you have to arm yourselves and guide yourselves with this truth in order to withstand the things that are coming down the pipe to this country across the four corners. And Salaki Akim, I'm trying to get this ad. I've been closing it out a few times on the bottom of my screen. All right, so Lord willing, you can hear. Okay, it says that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, because the devil has a lot of tricks, a lot of snares, a lot of deception coming our way. And in order to be able to dodge those things, in order to be able to stand against them, you have to have this whole armor on, which is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which will stable us in these times. Evildoer. This is Psalms 94:16. And I bring this out often because it has some heavy weight in these times, because we're at a spiritual war. And the Lord has required men to stand up against the iniquities and the transgressions of the society. Pertaining to Ezekiel 9:4, set a top upon the head of those that sigh and that cry in the midst of the abominations done thereof. So it says, Psalms 94:16, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So the Lord is asking the question. Because if the Lord wasn't asking this, then all things will be good. All things will be all right. But he's saying, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? So there are evildoers on the scene. There are workers of iniquity. All right? There are wiles of the devil. So in order to stand up for the Lord, you have to stand with that whole armor. So verse 12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And we know the rulers of this world, they rule in darkness, they rule in wickedness. All right, casting out spells, rooting themselves in wizardry and being top level warlocks. Okay, witchcraft, abominations. These things are in the midst of us. This whole the vibration of America is sorcery. Okay, so the Lord is saying that we have to have a particular defense against this place. And if you don't, you're going to be subjected to the will of America, the will of this society, this world. This is Ephesians 6:12 in the NLT. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. So good is set against evil, life is set against death once again. So it's a spiritual tug of war going on, right? So we're on the side of Yahawashi, Lord willing, and we're pulling against the society. The society is pulling back. We're pulling against the society. But someone has to land in that mud that's in the middle, all right? And that's going to be the wicked. So either you're pulling for the Lord or you're pulling for this world. It's no in between. So that's why I entitled this lesson, is going to come down in faith in Yahawashi. Or it'll come down to your faith in the world, and that'll just end you in a sad situation. All right? Which is that lake of fire, which is snares and straits. All right? In that pit. Okay? So it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. So you wanna have done all and stand. You wanna run your course. You wanna say that you've given it all you've got. All right? Because that evil day is amongst us. In America, you hear nothing but sirens flaring in the air, police cars rearing back and forth, screams, yells, but how much more in that evil day? So we need Yahawashi to stable us, all right, to keep us whole in that day. Let me get this real quick. Bear with me. It's Isaiah 33:6 in the NLT. It says, in that day he will be your sure foundation, that he is Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. In that day he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord will be your treasure. You see? And where your treasure is, your heart will be there also. So if your treasure is in the fear of the Lord, your mind is going to meditate on good things. Your mind is going to occupy yourself in prophecy. And you're going to take onto you the whole armor of God, as it says in Ephesians 6:13. Wherefore, take onto you the whole armor of God, that he may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Therefore, stand, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all taking the shield of faith. There you go. Because when you go down, all right, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it tells you how to cover yourself. I'm going to start again, Ephesians 6:14. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth. So you got to have your loins girded about with truth. Having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right, the slanders, the lies, the allegations, the false doctrines, the false dogmas, and ultimately those nuclear missiles. It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Lord. You see? And it tells you that in Hebrews, I believe. This is Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Lord is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So that is our sword. This word is truth. All right? That's how we cut our enemies. The scriptures tell you our weapons are not carnal, all right, but mighty through pulling down of the strongholds, all right? So ultimately, that's what we do with this word. We cast down those fiery darts. We cast down, and ultimately, like just thinking about it, Yahawashi is the word. Yahawashi is going to deliver us. So ultimately, that's Yahawashi is that word that's ultimately going to save us from those nuclear missiles, which is this truth. All right, if I said that correctly. So Ephesians 6:17 again, and take the helmet of salvation and the word and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Lord, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. You see? So prayer is an essential part of that covering of the Lord. Pray goes into beg. So you have to beg the Lord continually for stability, for a sound mind, all right? To be able to withstand the things that are coming. And having done all to stand. And I just quickly want to get that 1244. I just quickly want to get that word faith. This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You see, so although we cannot see yet, as of yet, America going into all-out chaos, all-out anarchy, we have hope and we have faith, and we believe in the scriptures that tell us that that's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We don't know what's going to go on tomorrow. The scriptures tell you take no thought for tomorrow. Today is evil enough, roughly paraphrasing. This is Matthew 6:34. I'm going to start at 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So you gotta prioritize yourself with the kingdom of heaven. You gotta seek the Lord first for everything. Even if it's something that you might think is small and you can handle on your own. Seek the Lord for that. We want full reliance on Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi in these times. All right, we don't want to give any any problem solving to the world. We don't want the world to solve any of our problems. We want Yahawashi to do those things. So even the smallest thing, the way you think I can handle this on my own, ask the Lord about it. Pray, fast, have faith. Don't trust in the material things that you can see. Trust in something that you can't see. That's operating on a higher vibration. That's operating on a higher plane. So it says, verse 34, take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. And I want to see if there's something on this in the NLT before I close out. It's Matthew 6:34 in the NLT. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. So just take it a day at a time, day by day. Roll with the punches. And when all else fails, it's going to come down to faith and Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem ha-Rachakwadash. That's the Father and the Son. All right, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Okay, Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say, Sama, Yasha Allah, Yahawah, Allah Hayanawa, Yahawah Achad. That's Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord, Yahawah. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Aki, pushing out this truth in these last seconds of time. On to the next one. Shalom.